Hi, I'm Suze Weinberg, and I'm back today to show you how to make a really delicious looking bead out of ultra thick embossing enamel. We're going to be using clear today, and this is called the Leandra bead. It was developed by my friend from the UK, Leandra Franich, the owner of Paper Artsy rubber stamps. Come and let's get started. I hope you can see this very beautiful example of the type of bead we're going to be making today, which is so simple and so easy, and you will have so much fun. And now we're about to get started. Start by filling your melting pot all the way to the max line with clear ultra thick embossing enamel. Then turn the heat all the way up to the UTEE setting, cover, and let everything melt. And then we'll go to step 2. Now that the UTEE has melted, I'm going to add in just a little bit of flex. This will make the UTEE more resilient to breakage in case the beads should be dropped. All right, now we're just going to cover it again. Just going to integrate it a little bit. Just let it melt along with the UTEE. Once the flex has completely melted, I gently stir to help integrate it completely into the melted UTEE. Stir slowly so you don't get a lot of air bubbles. Now, the next trick is we're going to turn the heat down just a little bit on the pot, because I want my UTEE to become a little bit thicker before we begin, and we'll cover. To make the Leandra bead, you need a long head pin and some little tiny beads that we're going to put at the end. They can be any size you like. I don't even know what millimeter these are, but you get the general idea, something small. Now I want you to place your bead on your head pin so that it sits at the bottom, like so. Now you're going to dip your bead, lift, allow some of the UTEE to drip off, and then remember how we made cotton candy in that centrifugal motion? That's what you're going to do, and allow it to harden in the air. Don't worry about any of these little pieces. We're going to be doing a lot of dipping. The more you continue to dip, drip, and twist, the larger your bead will become. After the UTEE has hardened, you may even want to color a little bit of it with some perfect pearls. You'll notice I allowed my UTEE in the pot to get really dark because I've cooked it for a really long time. It has that very amber color to it, and I really like that. Okay, and that adds just a little more interest to my bead. Don't expect to get a perfect circle. Don't expect to get a perfect bead. Your first few may be disastrous, but oh, are you going to have fun making the Leandra bead. If you'd like, you can even loosely wrap some wire around your bead. Dip it again to encase. Let the UTEE drip off and do your cotton candy movement. I don't know what else to call it. But remember, your bead's going to grow every time you dip it. And I think we finally reached the stopping point. Sometimes you'll have a little bit extra here on your head pin, and you can leave it if you like, but if you want to add an end cap to your bead, you need to cut that off. So don't use a wire cutter because you don't want to cut your wire. I just wait till the bead gets good and cold, and then I sort of clip back on the UTEE with a scissor. And then if you want to, you can put your little end bead on it and just put a little super glue and glue it in place. Now, I'm not a beading expert, but this is your next step. You would cut off that little bit of extra on your head pin, and now we're going to make a loop. We're going to bend our wire down and then bend backwards. If we don't get a perfect loop, boys and girls, you'll just have to forgive me. Almost. good enough to hang. Sometimes if you handle UTEE too much, it gets a little cloudy looking or not quite as bright as it was. Remember, a heat gun can solve a lot of problems. It'll brighten up your UTEE and give it back that shine. Just don't overdo it because you'll melt your bead. Thanks for joining us. I want you to know the necklace I'm wearing is exactly the same bead I just showed you. I did these using violet UTEE brights. So be sure and try every color of UTEE we have, all 14 colors, and make your own Leandra beads. Thanks for joining us.